Welcome to the East Providence City Council meeting on the 15th of July in the year 2025. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Fogarty,
Here.
Councilman Lawson,
Here.
Council Vice President Rigo,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Souza,
Here.
Council President Rodrick.
He's absent.
there's a quorum of 4 people. At this time, I'd like to recognize the passage of Council President Bob Rodrick's wife, Diane, his soulmate, his best friend, a wonderful person, part of our council family. She lost a great battle last week. Just a great person, always had a great smile on her face wherever we were, at whatever event. She was definitely our council president's guiding light. This council hurts, not as much, obviously, as our council president. So after we salute the flag of the United States, we will stand for a moment of silence in the honor of Diane Rodrick. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we will resume normal council business. Madam Clerk, first item on the agenda.
Consent calendar for discussion and possible vote. Council journals, regular meeting minutes, 624, executive session meeting minutes, 624, tax abatements, cancellation abatements, 10,634 and 16 cents. Letters, new address, 39 Windsor Street, East Providence, Rhode Island, map 207, block 03, parcel 01000. And 2 read-in special entertainment.
Make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson, second by Councilwoman Souza. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Motion passes 4-0. Madam Clerk, next item on the docket.
Public hearing, type of license, Class B liquor license transfer. Applicant Timothy Cabral, business name Good Venture Holding, Inc., to TRC Restaurant Corp., DBA Medici, Italian Kitchen, location 75 Highland Avenue, East Providence.
Madam Clerk, fellow council members.
Did we just skip all the other licenses?
We did, but we can circle back.
No, there's a reason why, because I have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have to read.
Yeah, I did skip the bundles. I skipped the bundle.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that because of this scenario. In compliance with Rhode Island General Laws 36-14-6, I hereby recuse from participating in the discussion or take an official action relating to said matter. This does not prohibit participation as a member in public in open meeting pursuant to Commission Regulation 7003. At this time, I turn the gavel over to the senior member of the council, Councilwoman Souza, to handle this action.
Thank you, Council Vice President. At the pleasure of the council. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve to start the public hearing.
Second.
Public hearing is open. If anybody has anything to say for or against this business for a Class B liquor license, please step forward. To the podium, sir. Thank you. If you could state your name and address, please.
Timothy Cabral, 222 Baker Road, Swansea, Massachusetts. Good evening, council members. Thank you for having us this evening. I am president of TRC Restaurant Corporation, and tonight I have with me my daughter, Carissa Cantelmo, who's going to be the manager of the Medici Restaurant. This is just a simple license transfer. We're keeping the business as it is currently run right now. No changes to staff, no changes to the restaurant at all. Maybe some paint. But other than that, this is just a basic liquor license transfer.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else in the public that would like to speak for or against this liquor license, please feel free to step forward. Yep, right here, ma'am. There you go, Nancy.
Nancy Hale, 889 Bullocks Point Avenue. It's a great restaurant, and it's a great food and wonderful place to go. It's basically on Route 6, near the Blue Cross store. Go there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Anybody else would like to step forward to speak for or against the public liquor license, Class B? There being none, public hearing is closed. Council,
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
can we take a roll call, please?
Councilman Fogarty,
Aye.
Councilman Lawson,
Aye.
Council Vice President Rego, recused. Councilwoman Souza,
Aye. The motion has passed 3-2 in 1 recusal and 1 absence.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to bundle the non-public hearing license.
Second.
Yeah. Could you just read them off before they go into, the non-public hearing? Just read each one and then we'll do it. We don't need to read them? Okay, motion to bundle
motion to bundle.
by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilwoman Souza. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson, second by Councilman Fogarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
What's that? Okay.
Through C1 through C11.
Okay, that was a motion by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, the ayes have it. Motion passes 4-0. Next docketed item, Madam Clerk?
Did you want to bring up your special guest?
Yes, I do.
You have it.
Anyone that was waiting for a
Well,
license,
so
you're all set.
Yeah, all the licenses have been approved. On the 3rd of July, we celebrated Cape Verdean Independence Day here at the city, and a really great speaker was there, and obviously the whole city didn't have an opportunity to see it. And with these meetings being broadcasted, I thought it was a great opportunity, myself and Councilman Lawson, who were at the event, to bring up Helena Alba Rayer on the great work that she's doing for the city of East Providence, as well as the Cape Verdean country in itself. So I want her to speak on this matter, and it's one of these community efforts that we need to reach out to. Thank you. So at this time, the podium is yours. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Helena Baraya, and I'm currently the president of Club Amigos of Boa Vista, which is Friends of Boa Vista. Boa Vista is an island, one of the islands from the Cape Verde Islands. Cape Verde has 10 islands. 9 of them are inhabited, and Boa Vista is one of them. And this organization actually was started in 1992 by was founded by my parents and other immigrants of the island. And throughout many years, they did excellent work in helping the island, the development of the island. So after some of the founders passed away, the club got inactive. But the next generation decided that we needed to continue the good work that they started, given the challenges that the island still faces today. One of the examples is that some houses still don't have bathrooms. So the city hall of that island is working on installing bathrooms to some of the low-income houses. And they've completed 14 houses, and for the next year, they want to build 20 more. Also, for example, the hospital. If you are a patient at the hospital, you have to bring bed sheets, towels, and food and water, because the hospitals are not able to provide some of those basic items. So that's one of the things that our organization is, a nonprofit organization, and we want to help with some of those things. You have schools, they have up to high school, but a lot of the times they don't have supplies, they don't have resources to teach the children. Some of the things are not only school supplies, but also the classroom projectors. They're also working, they opened 3 senior centers, so the seniors will have a place to go during the day while the families are out working. And they can interact with one another and do exercise and do different activities throughout the day and not be at home by themselves. And one of the challenges that these senior daycares face is that they don't have transportations for some of the seniors that don't have a lot of mobility. So they are asking for a van so they can pick them up at home and transport them to the centers, because it's not only good for their physical health, but also their mental health. And there's also other projects that they're working on, and one of them is a daycare for the children. A lot of the mothers work in the hotels because this island is a tourist island and it has beautiful beaches. So we have a lot of people that go there, and the mothers, a lot of the people from the island work at these resorts, but they don't have a place to leave their children. So they want to build a center, not only for children, babies and toddlers, but also for young adults, so they don't stay on the streets, and they have different activities, sports, and other activities for the youth. So these are some of the things that our organization want to help with, and I presented this during the raising of the flag that we had to celebrate Cape Verdeans' 50th Independent on July 3rd. And I was invited to come here today and talk about the organization and some of the things that we are focusing on. And I want to thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Anytime that you need our participation as a council in conjunction with the administration, obviously, feel free to reach out. Any programs, anything that you have going on.
Okay.
I know the mayor's office is already working with you and
Yes.
talked.
Yes, the mayor's office have committed to provide one of the vans for the senior centers, and we are very pleased for that. Thank you.
That will definitely get our unanimous consent here. I anticipate that and everything when we transfer city property. So I
I
thank
just-
you again. But
Council President, can I
Councilwoman
just ask,
Souza.
thank you so much for coming up here and enlightening the residents and the rest of the council who weren't present. Is there a website or an email that you could provide out to the public so that if anybody that's watching or listening wanted to reach out or donate?
Yes, we have Facebook. We're bringing this organization back to life, so we still don't have a website, but we have Facebook, and it's Clube Amigos da Boa Vista. And that's how you can reach us at this point. Yes, so Clube will be CLUBE space Amigos, AMIGOS space DA space BOA space VISTA.
And this is local.
It's local, yes.
So for any youth or young adult or older adult that's interested, please reach out and get involved to help build up this organization.
Yes, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next docketed item, please.
Communications. Any person who submits a communication to the council and wishes to speak on it must indicate this in writing no later than 4 p.m. the Thursday prior to the next regularly scheduled council meeting. Nicole Grant proposed legalized backyard hens.
Is Nicole Grant present?
No.
Well, good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Nicole Grant. My address is 47 North Hull Street. Good evening. My name is Nicole Grant. I'm a resident here, and I'm here tonight to respectfully propose an ordinance that would allow residents to responsibly keep a small number of backyard hens, not for breeding, not for slaughter or business, but simply for personal egg collection and sustainable living. This proposal limits ownership to 6 hens, no roosters. It includes clear guidelines for coop size, cleanliness, pest control, setbacks from property lines, and feed storage. Coops would not be allowed in back or side yards, and every owner would need a permit with routine inspections. We've modeled this ordinance after successful ones already working in Providence, Cranston, Pawtucket, and Barrington. This isn't a rural idea. It's a modern, regulated approach to urban sustainability. We're not alone in this. Our petition now has over 579 verified East Providence signatures. That's more than 1.4% of the city's adult population, and more residents than typically attend an entire season of council meetings. I know some neighbors may have concerns about noise, but it's important to clarify hens are quiet animals. Hens are quieter than most dogs, leaf blowers, or backyard gatherings. With 6 or fewer hens, the noise is minimal. often no louder than wild birds. Another common concern is rats. Let's be clear. Chickens do not attract rats. Improper food storage does. This city has already acknowledged that East Providence rodent issue stems from unsecured trash, litter, and aging infrastructure, not backyard hens. This ordinance doesn't ignore that. It addresses it directly. It requires rodent-proof feed storage, secure waste handling, and regular coop cleaning. All practices that encourage better food habits citywide. When done right, backyard hens are not part of the problem, they're part of the solution. And believe it or not, chickens eat small rodents. They're natural foragers that can actually help control pests. Some critics have said to us, if you want chickens, move to the country. But this is our home. Many of us were born and raised here. This is where our kids are growing up and where we're trying to build strong, sustainable neighborhoods. We're not looking to leave. We're looking to grow with East Providence, just like our neighbors already have. We want the same smart, successful options other communities enjoy without having to uproot our lives. This small, low impact change brings real benefits. It supports food security, family education, sustainability, and mental health. And when done responsibly, backyard hens are as clean and quiet as any other family pet. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration. I truly hope you give this proposal a chance to move forward.
Thank you. Next person signing up. Is it?
Shauna Swift, Opposition Development Plan for Oldham School.
Is Miss Swift in the building? Okay, we'll move on. Those are the only two that signed up, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Communicate, yeah, under communication. That's what I mean. There's two things. I understand.
Under communication, there was two.
Yeah.
Next is public hearing, public comment. Right.
Correct. Just keep on going along.
Nicole Grant. Oh, yeah. Lorna Steele.
I'm Lorna Steele, 19 Madeline Drive. There's not a whole lot I could add on top of what Nicole articulated. The only thing I would say is that I did offer, and I maintain that I would be so happy to do this, to offer and teach a curriculum in East Providence on the proper setup, care, cleaning, all the things one needs to know for the health of the chickens and the cleanliness of the property. You know, how to, a lot of the things that have to do with proposed ordinances, how to keep the food contained, how to clean properly. So there would be no issue that would go against the ordinances, that would create problems with neighbors. So that's really all I wanted to add, and thank you very much for considering this.
Thank you. Next person on the.
I can't pronounce your first name. It's R. Miller.
Hello, my name is Roy Miller. I live in Riverside. I've had backyard chickens for approximately 8 years. In fact, I was inspired by a neighbor who I cared for their chickens for a number of years before that. At no point did it cross my mind when I had those chickens that they were illegal in East Providence, as I knew so many people that had them that it didn't occur to me that there was ever going to be an issue. In fact, when I eventually built my own coop in my yard, I pulled a building permit, told the inspector these were for chickens, and he actually said the construction was fantastic. I stand here tonight in support of the ordinance to allow small flocks of backyard chickens. Others have spoken about the many social and economic and environmental benefits of chickens. I won't repeat those points. Instead, I want to highlight what I see the biggest problem with the status quo of our current ban on chickens, that it is not enforceable in any practical sense. There are countless families across the city who quietly keep a few hens without issue. They are not causing harm, but the existence of the ban creates a situation where enforcement is selective and often complaint driven. That means a neighbor can use this ordinance not because of a legitimate problem, but as a tool of retribution when there is some unrelated disagreement. It puts both residents and the city in an untenable position. By adopting a clear and reasonable standard for backyard chickens, you give residents the guidance and remove the weaponization of a gray area, and you would free up city resources from chasing harmless situations. Most importantly, you replace an unworkable rule with one that reflects the reality of how many families in East Providence already live and enjoy chickens respectfully and quietly in their backyards. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I look forward to hearing your opinion on the topic.
Nancy Hale.
Nancy Hale, 889 Bullocks Point Avenue. Um, there was a communication about responding to Oldham School. So my topic tonight is Oldham School questions, and it leads to affordable housing questions, which I tried to ask the night of the presentation at, was that Fuller Creative Learning Center? So when I asked about the quote affordable housing, I was directed that we should have those questions at the end of the meeting, but really never got an answer exactly, except for affordable housing. This is to me just a catch-all basket term, but there's several different kinds of affordable housing. There's a mathematical formula from the state, just some percentage of the average income or whatever. But then there's also a very severe need for housing for veterans. We've seen that issue come up here before. And I met a veteran of Vietnam over the weekend who took care of his wife in their home. He works at McDonald's on Saturday nights, and he's called the King. I'm not going to say his name. He might come visit here sometime, but he is still working part-time. In order to get into the veterans' home in Bristol, I think, I'm not sure if there's many homes or whatever. I'm not an expert in this area, but Rick probably knows much more about this. So I was amazed. He's having a little yard sale with a broken down sign on a plastic Adirondack chair. I bought a few things. I spent my last dollars there for this month. Anyway, he served our country. He took care of his wife at home until it was impossible. He has to sell his home and pay the veterans or somebody, I don't know who, assuming the veterans home, I'm assuming, but there might be another, like $14,000, and then pay $4,000 a month to be there. So I think veterans and I think people over the age of 55 want to stay in their own homes for the most part when they're able to. And he is a bright-minded, physically capable man, and it's nobody's one person's fault. It's no one organization's fault. It's a combination of all of that that requires to sell the home that he worked for and earned, and, you know, after all that he's done for our country and for his family, and then he has to sell his home and go live. But he is well-bodied and well-minded, so he's also taking up a place at the veterans home for someone who might actually need more medical care.
Excuse me, we have a large amount of people signing up, Nancy, and to give
This is a
everybody-
chronic problem,
Listen,
but
understand, I'm trying to give everybody their fair time, and I've given you 5 minutes. So
great.
if
I
you
understand.
please just
But
wrap
I mean,
it-
it's an issue
could you
because
please
we
just
had a
wrap it
woman.
up right now. For
Okay,
me?
we had a woman here several meetings ago being evicted from a single home for temporary veterans home. And I mean, we have many veterans who needs home. Getting one spot for one veteran is way not enough. And I think there's my question. Why can't some of our underused or unused hospitals be converted to
We don't
housing
have
like
we don't have hospitals.
Pawtucket Memorial Hospital, Fatima
it's
Hospital?
in
It
the
doesn't
ci-
have to be in the city.
Yeah,
It's
but we're the Council of East Providence, so I mean
but we're talking about Cape Verde
That's
also.
a great idea.
So I'm talking
That's
about
a gr-
veterans
it's a
who live in
great
Rhode
idea.
Island.
Contact your state reps, and again, to give everybody who signed up the fair amount of time, just as Council President Rodrick is the last minute. Please, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to wrap it up.
I don't need that much.
All
I
right,
just say
thank you-
we
thank
should be
you- thank you
converting
very-
housing that
thank
we
you very
have
much.
and not
The
converting
next-
Oldham School for
Thank you.
96 housing units and 90 parking spots
Thank you.
without even being able to define what affordable housing is.
The 5 of us haven't done any of it. But I agree with you. Next person.
Jimmy, last name begins with a D. And can you spell your last name for me?
DUFURRENA.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the East Providence City Council. My name is Jimmy Duffarina, and I reside in Ward 3 at 22 Manning Drive in Riverside. I'm here tonight to express my strong support for the proposed ordinance that would create a legal pathway for backyard chicken ownership. The reality is many of our residents already have backyard chickens, and overwhelmingly they are responsible owners who ensure their flocks don't bother their neighbors. We shouldn't allow the actions of a few bad eggs to dictate policy for everyone. It simply isn't fair to penalize responsible residents. This proposed ordinance offers a crucial solution. By officially regulating backyard chicken ownership, we establish an enforcement mechanism. This means we can protect the rights of responsible chicken keepers while also holding accountable those who are not. It creates a clear framework for fairness. The ordinance before you tonight is, in my opinion, a well-balanced and reasonable approach. It allows residents to enjoy the benefits of raising a small backyard flock, all while safeguarding our neighbors and communities from any potential negative impacts. I respectfully ask for your support in passing this important ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next,
Melody Pimentel.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Melody Pimentel. I live in Ward 3 at 22 Manning Drive, and today I am speaking as a member of East Providence Community. We're a grassroots network of residents working to move our city forward, and our grassroots network is in support of this proposed ordinance permitting backyard hens in the city of East Providence. We believe that the ordinance reflects a regulatory framework that is fair to all and addresses any potential negative externalities associated with keeping backyard chickens. And again, we look forward to your support and the passage of this ordinance. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Emily and Odin McNeil.
Emily and is Emily here? I'm not saying that.
Renee. Last name begins with a I. Ignacio. I'm gonna just put this into the file. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Renee Ignacio. I live at 15 Madeline Drive. So I'm here tonight about the chicken ordinance that you're passing. So, sorry. I'm going to go back to 2021 when our neighbor got her emotional support chicken. And I don't want to go through the whole thing again, but Councilwoman Souza, Councilman Rodrick, and Nate were here at the time. So I don't feel that what I went through, I don't feel that any of the residents in the neighborhood, in any of the neighborhoods should have to go through that. So I just lost my space. I'm sorry. I am not going to go through that ordeal again in my neighborhood. And this ordinance could put neighbor against neighbor. And there may be those who will just deal with it because they don't want to disagree with anyone or fight about it, but yet don't really want them. So this is the way, if this is the way the city decides to go, then that's fine. That's on you guys. Yes, there are people that will do the right thing. I agree with that 100%. And then there are those that will not do the right thing and not follow the ordinance. And those that will not, like the one next door to me, for the councilmen that weren't here or don't know, my neighbor started raising her chickens in the house while she was constructing her coop. She had a few chickens, and by the end of it, she had 10 chickens. She ran an 18 by 20 carport between our houses. That was her coop and run. This was also just outside my bedroom window. She had buckets with about a year's worth of feed outside the run. And by the time the warm weather came, it smelled so bad in my room, it was gross. We live with 80 acres of woodland property behind us with all kinds of animals. I now have a turkey fence because there's at least 8 turkeys that sit up there. We had a fox that would come and cry under the window in the middle of the night or the early mornings, waking us up. We had to get up before the sun to go to work. Not fair to us. She said she'd never hear it while she was in the house with the AC on. That's fine. Fox would set my dog off, who would set the next dog off, and all the dogs would stop barking. I have text messages from her that suggest to stop the wildlife from coming to get her chickens, she wanted to put up an electric fence around our properties with motion detecting floodlights. And if that wasn't bad enough, every time I let my dog, a border collie, he would go insane with the chickens. He would lay at my back door and whine to get them. There was only a chain link fence between the yards, and the dog would get so bad with barking, my other neighbors would call me to get him under control. So while we were arguing over the chickens, which, knows all about, I was worried about having my dog being taken away or us being fined because we couldn't stop his barking. Her and her husband wanted to take my dog to their house to desanitize him against the chickens, whatever that means. Her and her friends put stuff all over Facebook about things they would do to us, to our home. I have 90% of them printed out right here in the book. I have pictures of what she built if you'd like to see them. I also have text messages she sent to me. I had her husband come to my home and demand that I signed a variance to allow them to have their chickens. The mayor came to the home and said he didn't see an issue with what was going on next door. Bet he wouldn't like that. Bet you guys wouldn't like that. Do you think it's fair to anyone else in the city that goes through something like that? Maybe no one else will fight it like we did. Just deal with it. So who's going to monitor this? Who's going to be putting the charge to make things don't get out of control? To make sure they don't have more than allowed? Do we have the manpower or the money in the budget for that? So I handed you all a packet. The first 3 pages after my speech is the residential conveyance for the plat I live in, Kent Gardens. If you notice, number 6 reverts to page number 10. It says, actually I have it. It says no chickens or fowls or livestock are to be kept on the premises. That's number 6. Number 10 says each and every owner shall have the right to enforce the restrictions and agrees that the provisions as a part of the ordinance or the consideration of this agreement. So I will enforce the conveyance on our property. The next page is for the HOA on it. Pages 5 and 6 is a letter that was sent to Councilman Morato at the time from the Defender of Animals, speaking about how the Exxon station, mobile land behind us is going to be, it's sold now. At the time it was being sold, how that's going to be separated and plotted and where those animals going to go. So that is in there. Pages 7 and 9 is the petition we did with all our neighbors in the area who do not want them. And let's see, pages, well, 10 and 11 are pretty self-explanatory. That is 2 out of 7 I caught in my house and in my yard. Well, those 2 were in my house. And the last 2 pages, you had proposed this ordinance back then. And my mother and I had talked, and we agreed that with permission from the neighbors, something in writing was acceptable. But I don't want them next to me. I'm not going through that hell again. Neither is my son. Neither is my dog. I'm not living that. If you want to let them in the city, again, I have no problem with it. But I want everybody to just realize what it's going to do to our wildlife, at least where we live. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Dave, Louise,
Good evening, City Council members. I am Dave Lewis, 75 Brookfield Road in Riverside. I'm here tonight to speak in favor of allowing residents to responsibly keep backyard chickens here in East Providence. Across Rhode Island and the country, more and more communities are recognizing the benefits of backyard hens, not just as a sustainable source of fresh eggs, but as a means to promote local food security, environmental responsibility, and even mental well-being. Communities like Barrington, Warren, and Bristol have already embraced this. It's time for East Providence to do the same. This is a small but meaningful step towards a greener, healthier, and more self-reliant city. I want to thank you for your consideration, and I want to thank Councilwoman Souza for once again taking up this cause. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Allison Turbot,
Good evening, my name is Allison Turbot. I reside at 70 Gardner Avenue, East Providence, Rhode Island. I'm in support of the chicken ordinance. I believe chickens are a good animal to manage and keep clean. It's fairly easy. Everybody who's owned chickens, whether on a farm or illegally, they say they're really easy to manage. You just have to collect their eggs, make sure their coop's cleaned. I've cleaned coops myself and it's really smelly, but it's not as bad as cleaning up after other animals. Just have to wear proper PPE, and with good training in that field, I believe chickens can be a great source for proper land management. It'll keep ants, bugs, and other creepy crawlies off your lawn. Their manure is very high in nitrogen, so you keep chickens in your backyard, your lawn will look nice. They'll lay eggs, you'll be able to have free breakfast. The only downside is once the daylight savings happens, it'll decrease the egg counts due to low sunlight. There's a lot of science behind all that. But yeah, chickens, great. I support the birds, and I really hope that you decide to pass this ordinance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kathy Halloran,
Good evening. My name is Kathy Houlihan. I live at 9 Florence Street in the city of
East Providence. I work for the city clerk's office, but I'm not here tonight for work. I am here as a longtime resident and a taxpayer to express my concerns in opposition to the proposal of the ordinance that would allow backyard chickens in East Providence. Let me start with a few quick questions. How many of you own dogs in the city of East Providence? Raise your hands. How many of you have licensed your dogs for the year 2025? Not everybody. That's a simple ordinance excuse me. The truth is, we already have trouble getting full compliance with the city dog licensing, something that's been in place for decades. So how are we going to enforce the rules about chickens? Chickens require far more oversight and are at greater risk. This ordinance assumes a level of regulation and enforcement that we simply don't have here. My concerns are, I give you respect, please give me some.
Excuse me. Yes, please. If you can't control yourself, I'm going to ask the city sergeant to remove you. Respect is very important, and that's the end of that. That's the end of it.
First, zoning. Our zoning laws exist for a reason, to protect neighborhoods, property values, and quality of life. Right now, chickens are allowed on a single-family size lot zoned for farming, with a 100-foot buffer from other properties. Most of you who illegally have chickens right now don't do that. But this ordinance tries to get around those rules with special permits processes. That's not the responsible policy making that ends running around zoning. And it opens the door to more exceptions. What's next? Chickens on multifamily lots, other farm animals. I would like to share this picture with you all that I took yesterday morning on my way to work here yesterday. In Riverside, a gentleman walking a pig. I can show you the timestamp of the photo. So what's going to be next for us? Goats, they're all talking about they want goats. When's it going to end? If we stop picking and choosing when a zoning rules are going to apply, where will it stop? Sorry. Second is public health. Right now, the CDC is investigating an active salmonella outbreak tied directly to backyard chickens. 187 people sick, 42 hospitalized, and at least one death. These aren't industrial farms. These are private backyard coops, just like the ones this ordinance would allow. We are kidding ourselves if we think that every resident will manage the poultry properly. Most people will turn to YouTube instead of going to a vet. So is this the plan the city, excuse me. So what's the city's plan if an outbreak occurs? Our animal control officers are already stretched thin. We have 2 animal control officers who work 6 to 7 days a week most weeks. Our shelter is under renovation and we are renting a building currently. We have no place to house poultry if something happens. There's no training, no equipment, no backup plan. And let's not forget the rats. I know you don't want to hear it, but we were told by the mayor that our new trash cans in 2020 were here to fight rodent problems because rodents are a real issue in our city. Chicken feed and droppings will only make that worse. Third, the ordinance puts the burden on the neighbors. People that do not want chickens will be forced publicly to come out against their neighbors. Oftentimes, they will go against their better judgment to not object and avoid confrontation with their neighbors. That's not a healthy or a fair way to govern. Good policy does not pit neighbors against neighbors. Who wants to be called a Karen, which I was last time I testified? Who doesn't want chickens in their neighborhood? In closing, this proposal raises more questions than answers. It ignores existing zoning, introduces health risk, and hands enforcement off to the community. I urge you to please reject this ordinance. Let's focus on policy and support the health and safety of the residents of the city of East Providence. Thank you.
Next.
Susie Finnerty.
I filled that out because I thought it was attendance, but that's fine.
Well, if you want to talk, you don't have.
No, we're cool. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool. We can.
Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah.
Thank
My
you.
name is Susie Finnerty. I live at 115 Riverside Drive. I live with my husband. I have 4 kids, and I have 5 hens and a cat. I'm here to support the chicken owning ordinance. We moved to East Providence from regular Providence last February. We were there for 13 years. We've had our girls for 10. And we've been a little confused because, similar to Rory, when we came here, so many folks we know have chickens. I read the ordinance and I called the zoning office to check in about what was going on, because we had been told that there was an ordinance and it wasn't voted on. And there was kind of a, we're not going to enforce it, but don't cause problems culture here. So I'm like, great, let's do that. And our neighbors were fine with it. Zoning was like, if we don't get any complaints, we don't care. And we received a letter this year saying, get rid of the chickens or you're going to be prosecuted. I'm like, okay, that's great. We have had some issues with a neighbor videotaping one of our children, photographing our cat. And so I made a public records request to see like what we're dealing with. Is this the same person? What is the actual complaint? They don't make noise. No one can actually see them. So I was just a little confused, and the city was unable to fulfill that request because they don't keep records of the complaints, is what I was told. I was told by zoning that they do this, they receive so many complaints. It's the main thing they do every week is take people's phone calls, send these letters. And if they get a phone call, they send a letter, they don't document otherwise. And I've had to wait for the zoning office on other matters pertaining to my house. And it does seem like a lot of resources are already going into this. Culturally in Providence, I was on Smith Hill. Homes were really close together. Nobody had issues. There were no rats. Mice are part of living in New England, and cats remediate those like very well. But it's culturally really different. It's the norm in Providence. It's the norm in Barrington. It's the norm in other areas that look and feel similar to Providence. And it seems like kind of regardless of which path we go, illegal chickens or legal chickens, that the city's going to deal with it anyways. Creating a path to legal ownership does give us the opportunity to do education. I'm also willing to help with education and getting people safely set up. It's something that I do anyways. We've helped neighbors and other folks set up their coops safely and sanitarily, help people understand how to compost the shavings and how that can be done, because it is our home. I want a clean home. They definitely, I've never experienced leaf blowers like I have on the terrace, and there's just nothing that compares to that. And that's cool, like it's a free country, but they're not noisy. There's no rats. And they're very important to my children and my family. Eggs are very expensive right now, and I have a lot of kids. And it started for my family as a homeschool hobby. Then it became everyone's favorite pandemic hobby. And now we're in a really different part of where society is going. Food prices have changed. We are living under really different circumstances. I do think that people are much more interested in homesteading, growing food, learning about animals. And to just say we don't do this, I think opens it up for unsafe conditions and sanitary conditions, people hiding their flocks. But when we do have a pathway to legal ownership, then we can educate, we can have community, we can have positive discourse, or we can just keep doing this same meeting like every 2 years, I think is kind of where the other option, because I don't plan on getting rid of my birds. I don't think anybody else plans on getting rid of their birds. So I hope that you take that into consideration and that we can all make scrambled eggs together.
Next.
That was the last speaker.
Okay. I thank everybody for their comments. We appreciate it. As you could see here, that we were very open and let everybody, as far as time, and 99% of the situation, it was courtesy. And I think that's very important for this council. And I think it's our fellow council people here. This is the way the process should work in this country, even if it comes to the point, if it passes or fails, but the civilization still exists, and it exists here in the city of East Providence. And I'm proud of myself and the council. I should say I'm proud being on this council with these members, as well as in the absence of Council President Rodrick's, that the First Amendment still exists here in the city of East Providence. So I thank everybody. Next docketed item.
Council members request to move $7,716.90 funds from the Live Nation Recreation Fund to the carousel account to cover the cost of the food and wine pairing event. Councilman Lawson.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve. This is the annual fundraising thing. So this is what we do every year.
Councilman Lawson, are you asking to move your resolution up that's on the docket to approve? This is
Oh,
under the
Yeah, why is it under? Yeah,
discussion.
yeah. If you guys want to move it up, we can. If not, we can wait. Yeah, it got put on the council members, so.
Why don't we just keep going in this order here? So
Okay.
we'll just do that. So next item, Madam Clerk.
Number 2, request for update from the administration on the following outstanding
So,
projects.
You don't have to read them all. I got the updates. There's nothing moving, so status quo.
Number 3, update Glenline Park and Lyle Bourne Mock Park improvements. Council Vice President Rigo.
The first section of Bourne Park has been completed, waiting for the asphalt cement to settle. Glenline drove by there yesterday. The basketball court is out, tennis court's out, so the process, they are being graded right now, and the additions, I guess, would become forthcoming. Thank you.
Number 4, update on businesses along Newport Avenue. Council Vice President Rigo.
Thank you. The Newport Avenue corridor is a bone of contention in my ward. And we, unfortunately, have our hands tied with the court ruling. All I can ask is that if there's anybody here tonight, and then obviously people watching this, that it's an issue that we are watching, that the police are watching. I've spoken to business owners on Newport Avenue, and they are in communication with the police department, and for the constituents of Ward 1 in that area, and that there could be, police activity takes a while. There might be investigations going on by multiple state agencies and city agencies, and that are watching things, and the area is not being looked upon. All I can ask is that the constituents of the area of Newport Avenue and the surrounding streets, both east and west of Newport Avenue, if you see something that isn't right, as they always say, please report it, call the police department. But I just didn't, we've got a lot of requests lately about the situation on Newport Avenue, and that's the update. And again, as they say, if you think something's not right, call the East Providence Police Department. Thank you. Next item.
Public hearings, ordinance for second and final passes for discussion and possible vote.
Mr. President, he's acting president, right? Mr. Acting President, on number 1, this was not advertised. This is an expenditure from a unallocated capital. We tried to get the advertisement. We were hoping to get it done within the time frame required. We didn't do it. So this needs to be This will be, again, sorry, this will be put on the agenda for August 19th after the,
And can we know what's unallocated? 275 thou? Oh, how is that unallocated?
it's unallocated capital.
Right, but what did it get pulled from? Because we voted on items
So you
to.
have, there's a bunch of unallocated capital in the budget that you pass.
Right, so can you put an update on what's not getting spent in capital for the next meeting?
Unallocated.
Andy.
Oh, it's unallocated though.
Right, but when we vote on the capital budget, it's for specific items. Which item didn't get purchased or done?
It's unallocated. In other words, you had $6 million, I believe was the amount. You didn't allocate all $6 million. You left some unallocated, and that's where the money's coming from. The projects that were allocated, those are allocated projects. The leftovers or the non-allocated is unallocated. That's where the money's supposed to
So
be.
how much beyond what we voted on was unallocated?
We can get you that number. I don't know if you know it off the top.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
And just to clarify, this is for the 2025 budget.
So if you just, no action to be taken because it wasn't advertised properly.
Okay, so we don't.
Make a motion to table
I
this
don't-
until the August 19th meeting and request, as Councilman Lawson suggested, an update by end of day Friday with all unallocated funds in our capital budget currently. The total of unallocated funds.
Is a motion on the floor, or do I hear a second?
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes 4-0. I'm looking at my notes here. I guess it's the same. Is there a motion to table number 2, the ordinance adopting the East Providence Comprehensive Plan for 2025 to 2035?
There is, VP.
Motion by Councilwoman Souza. Do I hear a second?
To table it?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, second.
We got to a date. We need to put the date.
8/19,
Oh, okay.
August 19th, August 19th, 2025.
Thank you.
Motion by Councilwoman Souza, seconded by Councilman Lawson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion passes.
Number 3, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 18 of the revised ordinances of the City of East Providence, Rhode Island, 1998, as amended, entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Summary, subsection B of Section 18-269. The purpose of this ordinance is to place a stop sign at Irving Avenue, northbound and southbound traffic, at Blanche Avenue and Irving Avenue, northbound and southbound traffic, at Watshire Avenue. Sponsor, Council Vice President Rego.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This is second passage, correct, Mr. Solicitor? This is first passage. All right.
Oh,
The second, I've had, all right. So,
Make a motion to approve.
motion by Councilman
Second.
Fogarty, second by Councilman Lawson. All those in favor? Oh, that's right. It's a public hearing. Right now, it's a public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this matter, please come to the podium.
I love that name, What Chair?
Okay.
That's so cool.
Motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
Make a motion to close it.
Motion by Councilman Fogarty, second by Councilwoman Souza to close the public hearing. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion on this?
You got to vote to.
We got to vote for the, yeah,
Okay.
without objection. Yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Now back to the ordinance.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Lawson. Do I hear a second?
Yep.
Second by Councilman Fogarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, what are you approving?
3.
3.
Oh, I thought you made a motion to approve it already.
You might have motioned to close the public.
We had to close that was the public hearing closure. Okay, motion passes 4-0. Number 4, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance in amendment of Section 18-308 entitled Parking Time Limitations, 15 minutes of Article X, entitled Stopping, Standing, and Parking of Chapter 18 by adding thereto the following. Bullocks Point Avenue, east side, from 190 feet north of Fenner Avenue, northerly for 40 feet. Summary, section 18-308. The purpose of this ordinance is to place a 15-minute parking sign on Bullocks Point Avenue, east side, from 190 feet north of Fenner Avenue northerly for 40 feet. Councilman Lawson.
So I'll make a motion to approve, and just so people understand, there's a doggy daycare in the square that they have drop-offs in the morning, the afternoon, and they just asked if they could reserve the space right in front for people to just pull up, drop off, so that way it keeps it clear. The only business next door is the Union Bistro, which doesn't open till like 4 anyway, so it's not an adverse thing, and it's actually beneficial, so that way keeps things moving. So in case anybody is wondering what we're trying to do there. So I do make a motion to approve.
Second.
This is a public hearing. Although anybody wishing to speak on this matter? Yeah. No, state your name for the record, sir.
My name is Rory Miller. I'm the property owner of the building next door. I'm strongly in favor of this. Actually, I would love to see those 15-minute parking all up and down both my buildings. It really helps get people through and stops them from taking up parking spots for potentially a day at a time when we need more people to be able to park, do what they need to do, and move on. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to start maybe looking at defined spaces to get people in the habit.
Anyone else would like to speak on this ordinance? Motion to close the public hearing. What objection? Yes.
I made a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Lawson to close the public hearing.
No.
Without objection.
So without objection,
The
yeah.
public hearing is closed, so now we're
Yeah,
voting on the
that's
order.
right.
Hearing no objection, the
Then-
public hearing is closed.
Okay, motion by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Next item.
New business, Mayor Communication, Chief of Staff Patricia Rezendi.
Good evening, council members, council vice president. I'm so used to saying council president, so it's thrown off today. We have just on the communications 3 proclamations. The first is 2025 Never Give Up Day, which is August 18th, 2025. We also have our Indian Independence Day, August 15th, 2025. And we have Gastroparesis Awareness Month for the month of August. If you'd like to accept as is, or I can read them into record. What is your preference?
We'll accept them as is.
Okay. Thank you. That is all for this evening.
Thank you. Next docketed item.
Resolutions for discussion and possible vote. Number 1, resolution authorizing the award of a contract for HVAC mechanical work for the East Providence Community Center in the amount of $999,200. Sponsor, Council Vice President Rigo.
This is not any city money. This is part of the opera money that we've already allocated in conjunction with the community center. So this is just a process going along, going along with the engineer.
Mike, I got a question. What, it said APRA, APRA, as well as the American Rescue Plan. And I don't have it in front of me, but the packet I got, it said the funding comes from APRA? Or was that supposed to be ARPA? Okay, I just wanted to verify that. Okay.
It's ARPA, Congressional Directed Spending in Rhode Island American Rescue Plan Act, Carnivorous Capital Project. So it's actually 3 separate.
Okay.
But it's ARPA, yes. Sorry.
And the other one's the same typo then?
Same resolution, yes.
Okay.
I think along with the architect is here if you had any questions about this. So.
No, I think this is the next step. I think once we approved it, over a year ago, we said that there's going to be a series of votes coming up. So unless anybody's got any
Make a
questions.
motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fogarty, second by Councilman Lawson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
Resolution authorizing the award of a contract for electrical work for the East Providence Community Center in the amount of $938,130. Sponsor, Council Vice President Rego.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fogarty, seconded by Councilwoman Souza and Councilman Lawson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against, nay. The ayes have it. Okay. Next
Number
item.
3, resolution requesting the expenditure of funds $7,716.90 from the Live Nation Recreation Fund for the food and wine pairing event at Crescent Park. Sponsor, Councilman Lawson.
Yep. This covers the tent, the tables, chairs, the linens, all that. So I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have we done this yearly?
Yeah, we couldn't get the event tent done in time this year, so that's why.
Funding,
So,
no.
I have something to the chair. I'm just confused on fundraising. You're taking from a recreation account to fundraise, so you're basically taking from one account to fundraise for Hopeful for another account.
That's why we were hoping the tent was done by now.
How's the tent been paid for in the past? That's my thing. 'Cause it isn't the first time with the events.
Same thing last year. In the Bold Point concert.
I don't.
And until we get the tent, because this is the major fundraiser for the carousel. This is how we pay to restore horses, stuff.
So in previous years that I've attended, the fundraiser for the wine and tasting was held inside the carousel. So there was no need for rental of any tents, but given the construction that is currently occurring within.
Last 2 years, it's been a tent.
Right.
Yes, it's been a time.
Prior, it wasn't, so it wasn't an issue that we
Hopefully
had to.
this is the
fund.
last year we have to, and hopefully the tent is up.
I just don't. I just don't remember us having voting on the tent pot. I thought. That's my only. I don't remember this amount of money coming out of that fund. The only thing I know that we've allocated money for on this council has been the Dave Tannery concert at the end of the summer event. So I'm just okay.
Council Vice President and members of the council, I have here before me a list of all of the funds that have come out of this particular account. And it's a breakdown of all the funding. And over the last, gosh, if this goes back to 2021, there were no funds taken out of this account for the rental of the tent. In the past, the nonprofit has handled, and the carousel coordinator is not here to speak on this, but in the past, the nonprofit is the one that puts that event together. So they do raise funds. It does not come out of city funds because the city isn't normally in the business of funding nonprofit events. But again, this
It's for our
particular-
carousel.
Correct, and we're all for supporting our carousel, as we know. But the Bold Point Park Concert Venue account, everything that comes out of there has been used specifically for improvements to our local parks as written. As it does say that the funds from the sales of these tickets go to parks. But I have the breakdown here.
Crescent Park is a park.
But that you're talking about the rental of a tent. So this was like improvements to the
Fundraise
actual
to
park.
fund the carousel, which is part of Crescent Park, which is a city park. Which if we had gotten the project done in time,
I'm
we
just
wouldn't be
merely,
here right now.
Councilman, I'm not here to debate. I'm just merely here to correct the fact that you mentioned that in
So-
the past it's been paid through this account and it hasn't. That's
So
what
the-
we just wanted
so
to answer the Council Vice
the
President.
resolution is to help the Carousel Commission carry on with this fundraiser that they've been doing forever to help the restoration of the carousel.
Do we know what do you happen to know, Council Lawson, what the revenue was of that event?
I think they made 11,000 around that. I don't have the exact number.
I've done a little research, and obviously, you know, my background in my business and everything, and intense. And obviously, I was born here and enjoy the carousel in Crescent Park, and I wish it was still Crescent Park. But you look at tent rentals, and this is way off the mark. I would,
This was the number I gotten from the commission that looks into.
and I'm not going to promote any tent companies that I know with, but this is a little, out of proportion.
So
So I mean,
if we approve it, and if you got a better tent company that comes in
it's-
cheaper, we
that
can gladly
should
put
be
that.
that should be that should be their job. I mean, I'm just $7,000 for the tent because it's a great event, but it's not a floor. It's grass and everything like that. I mean, I $7,000 for a tent. I mean, for that size and everything, you look at them, and even the assembly of it and delivery of it, and the tax that the state, you know, gets for renting
Tables, chairs, linens.
this $7,000 is substantial. I mean
That's why we vote, buddy.
that's my
Council Lawson, do we have a receipt or an invoice with the amount? That's something, can we table this for the next meeting and then provide that information?
can.
I'd be more comfortable looking at it because again, if you start looking at size size tents and the amount of people there, and we've all been there, and the bigger the tent, the rate goes down. And the amount of tables and everything. 7,000. I mean, this is a substantial amount of money. This is something.
Just keep in mind, we're going to meet mid-August. The event's early September.
Oh yeah.
So it is kind of hard for them to plan, not knowing. But that's fine. We'll table it. If you got questions, I don't want to push it.
I mean, I got a lot of questions with the amount and.
So just a question, is this for an upcoming event or this was paying for a previous?
No, for this upcoming.
Okay, for this upcoming, okay. All right, so maybe we need to look at something.
I'll make a motion to table.
All right,
There's a motion to table. Is there a second?
second, for more information.
Okay. Motion. Everybody in favor of the motion to table?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Motion to table. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Introduction of ordinances for discussion and possible vote. Number 1, an ordinance in amendment of Chapter 3 of the revised ordinances of the City of East Providence, Rhode Island, 1998, as amended, entitled Animals. Summary, Section 3-4, Residential Chicken Hens Permit. Sponsor, Councilwoman Souza.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and council members for entertaining this ordinance. I want to thank first and foremost all the residents who came either in favor or opposed for this ordinance, and for those who didn't come but have reached out privately. This has been a topic, as we've heard tonight, that has gone back a couple of councils now, and it's something that I foresee always being a topic. And I'm of the mindset that when you have a topic or a situation that needs to be addressed, it's better to not sweep it under the rug, but face it and move forward with something that helps both parties come to an amicable appreciation for what the city wants or can do to mitigate concerns and keep things civil. This ordinance, I know, was worked on very diligently. It wasn't something that was just thrown before the previous council or this council. There was a lot of time, conversations, site visits, and research that went into it. And I think it does touch and deal with a lot of concerns that are safe policies for people who have or would like to have hens. I think that it is amazing that residents are stepping up and saying, hey, I am willing to offer maybe at the library or at City Hall some educational classes so that people who currently have it and maybe not practicing the way they should, or those who may be considering it, and do it the right way. We know that people are going to do things whether we want them to or not. But I believe my role and the role of the council is to put policies in place that protect everybody who's involved and gives the city enough leverage to be able to do enforceable monitoring or removal of things. So to give a little bit of teeth to a situation instead of it being discretionary and picking people against each other, or I like this neighborhood or these neighbors, or I don't like those, so I'm going to pick and choose who can have. This gives everybody a fair ground to have the hens, and then if you're not maintaining them properly. When it comes to neighbors, certainly I'm not in the habit, and I don't think anybody is wanting neighbors to pit against neighbors. I spent plenty of time at residential properties with neighbors who have conflict, trying to resolve that. There are anonymous ways to report things in the city. And if you don't feel comfortable reporting something about your neighbor, I invite all residents to reach out to me with your complaints, and I will report it myself. I do that now, and I am more than happy to continue doing that as the councilwoman in the city, so that no one person has to feel like somebody's going to retaliate against me because I made a formal complaint. I will take that that responsibility to make a complaint or inquire about any property or business in the city. With that being said, it is a two and a half page ordinance that goes into great detail on not just giving our animal control officer the ability or the workload of maintaining, but it does delegate some of the responsibilities to other personnel in the city who are already on the boots in the community as it is doing other jobs. It's certainly not to impose additional workload on other city employees, but we all are here in a position to improve our city in any capacity that we can. So that's why we've put into place additional support for the animal control officer to have in his absence, or if they're busy, someone else can take up the complaint and review it. So again, this is for first passage. If anybody on the council has any questions, I've opened up the floor for discussion. So I move for first passage.
I would like Rory to build mine and Julie to help me educate my family on how to have them. I'll second.
There's no further conversation?
I'm going to ask the councilman.
Yeah.
Any questions? I mean, you have anything to add? Okay. I see a lot of pros and cons and everything, and to be upfront, I I got 15 emails, calls. 3 were from out of my ward, and the rest were from my ward. And the ward I represent raised a lot of issues. We have the rat issue, and the city isn't addressing it in my ward. We've had a lot of building up there, and when you take wildlife away, rats come around. I also have in the first ward, and it's a major coyote issue, a fox issue, and what this issue has brought to my attention from the residents of Ward 1 is there's an immense population of fisher cats along the reservoir. And unfortunately, we know they're predators, all 3 of those species. I did not receive Again, I am the representative of the people. I did not receive one call in favor from anybody in Ward 1. Thank you. There's been a motion for first passage by Councilwoman Souza, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. Good roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Fogarty,
Aye.
Councilman Lawson,
Nay.
Council Vice President Rego,
Nay.
Councilwoman Souza,
Aye.
Motion is 2-2. With a 2-2 motion, the motion fails. Thank you. Next docketed item.
Number 2, an ordinance in amendment of Chapter 18 of the revised ordinances of the City of East Providence, Rhode Island, 1998, as amended, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, summary subsection C of Section 18-268. The purpose of this ordinance is to place a do not enter local traffic only sign. Sponsor Councilman Fogarty.
Move passage.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Councilman Fogarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's opposite, but aye.
Okay.
Hey, sorry.
Aye.
An ordinance in amendment of Chapter An ordinance and amendment of Chapter 2 of the revised ordinances of the City of East Providence, Rhode Island, 1998, as amended, entitled Administration, Summary, Section 2-298, Allocation of Speed and Red Light Camera Funds towards the School Building Fund. Sponsor Councilman Lawson.
So the purpose of this is when the mayor proposed we have speed cameras, he said this money's going to the school. So we need to start restoring faith in government and doing what we say we're doing. As you know, following national news and stuff, our school budget, it's something to be concerned about. We invested a lot in our school buildings. This is a way to feed the school building fund to ensure that we're not deferring maintenance on these buildings, which, as we know, when a school does a budget, and the choice is between a teacher and fixing a building, the maintenance gets deferred, and then that leads to deterioration of the buildings and such. So this proposal would feed this fund, and this is an ordinance. So after a couple of years, when the fund has got enough money in it, bearing interest, we can just vote to undo it. But we have to be very cognizant of the school budget this year. There's so much uncertainty on the federal level. As you know, we're becoming a more affluent community. You know, we're building $1 million houses and stuff, which is great. But that means our average median income is rising, which means our state aid is going to go down. That doesn't mean the school's costs are going to go down as well. So this is a way to kind of have some discipline where we ensure that the money's there for these buildings and it's outside of the school budget. So that way, the school budget can be used for teachers, support staff. How many IEPs that we hear people complain aren't getting filled? Well, the schools need these resources. So this is a proposal that I would like to present, and it will feed the building fund. You know, the school committee will still do their due diligence, let us know, and then they'll bring it forward, what needs to be done. We got so much invested in these buildings that to just say, okay, we're all set, it's just taking a step backwards. You know, we had to build a new high school because the other one fell apart. So that is my reasoning. And we got to pay a close attention to this year's school budget with all the uncertainty, with all, we don't know if the federal government, what we're getting, they're already cutting after school programs. You know, I think it got saved for the summer, but there's no guarantee this fall that there's going to be money in place for these kids. So I am asking that we pass this and the money will go into the thing. And like I said, after we build up a healthy amount, it will start bearing some good interest and it will be good. And I understand the administration, well, we need the money for the budget. Well, what's the budget? It's a priority. To me, the schools are our #1 priority in this city. So that is why I put forward this, and I humbly request we have a good discussion and a vote, and I'll move that we pass this.
One thing I just want to add at this time, I think in respect for our council president, this is a financial. If you don't mind tabling this until all five of us here, I think out of respect to our council president that we have, because it's a fiscal. I mean, it's a fiscal thing we're voting on.
So this is a first passage, and the reason I'm doing it now, because we're in budget season coming up,
No,
the schools, and it'd be good if they had some understanding. So this would only be first pass. I got no problem if you want to defer, of course.
Yeah, I mean, with being first passage, we'll have a discussion, but I just didn't want to make this,
I understand. If this was final passage, absolutely, but
out of
if you guys are more comfortable.
council president, I just, if you don't want to table the first passage, I understand, because obviously the clock will be ticking, and before long.
And that's my reason for it.
August, we'll be, under law when we're supposed to be getting the budget and everything in the school committee. So,
I second the motion to pass first passage.
Again, it's just first passage,
okay.
Call the roll.
Councilman Fogarty,
What happened? Did a roll call?
She just has.
No, Councilman Lawson.
I made the motion, Anna seconded it.
Councilman Souza. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to vote on first passage.
Councilman Fogarty,
Nay.
Councilman Lawson,
Aye.
Councilman Vice President Rigo,
I am just voting aye so that the council president has an opportunity to weigh in.
Councilwoman Souza.
Aye for the second or same reason.
Okay, passes 3-1.
First passage.
Yep.
Thank you.
Number 4, an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 5 of the revised ordinances of the City of East Providence, Rhode Island, 1998, as amended, entitled Fire Prevention, Summary, Section 5-57, Solicitation at Fire Scenes, Prohibited Conduct, Sponsor, Council Vice President Rigo.
This comes about because about a month or so ago, I get a text message from my councilman from Ward 4 saying it looks like there's a major fire in your ward. I happen to be coming back from business and going to my home office to work, and I could see the smoke and the address and everything, and knowing the community, and I knew the people that live there and everything, and your house is on fire. I mean, Councilwoman Souza obviously has lived through that nightmarish situation, and you see fires, and again, my thoughts go out to Fall River. But when you see that, and it's your property that's happening, and you have these piranhas, and you think it's just not the tow truck companies and people, ambulance chasers and everything. I seeing this family who I've known for a long time, and they don't know what's going on. They don't even know if they have their dog or cat out there, and these people are there. So this ordinance, I'd like to, thank the solicitor and his office for doing this. This keeps the fire restoration companies at bay during a fire, and they can't get close to the fire until the whoever is the fire commander on scene, as well as the building inspector. So this is basically a good ordinance to protect the citizens of East Providence, and hopefully no one has to live through what these people live through.
So, Vice President, thank you for that. I know that you had emailed me a comment for a change, and I did make that change. I think you got it, but it's not reflected here, so I want to make that amendment now. Can we do that?
Amendment for 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet. Yeah, you did see that, correct?
Yes,
I don't know how.
I saw. Yeah, there should be an amendment for that. They got to stay 1,000 feet from the.
Yeah, so
scene.
if I read, shall prohibit any and all insurance adjusters, contractors, and restoration companies from entering onto the property or or be within 100, excuse me, or be within 1,000 feet where the fire occurred. So it's entering and being 1,000 feet. If we can just make that amendment now, and then it'll conform the ordinance, so we don't have to do this again when we do second passage.
Okay.
I don't know. I apologize. I don't know how that happened, but
I move passage.
it's amended, right?
As amendment. Okay, Councilman Fogarty makes the amendment.
And I'll second it.
And seconded by Councilman Lawson. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Now passage of the amended final for first passage as
I'll
amended.
make a motion to pass.
Second as amended.
Motion by Councilman Lawson, second by Councilman Fogarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. First passage. Okay, the next docketed item. Adjournment. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Councilman Lawson. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Fogarty. Thank you and have a good night. All those in favor?